So here we are with Industria. I'm about to start. I lied to you in the basic rule in my introduction. When the auctioneer wants an object, he doesn't have to pay. He can just take it. He loses his auctioneer right. That's all, which could be a big deal. So, what happens if nobody bids? That's my question, because that is what my feeling is. I think if nobody bids whatsoever, they actually force it on the auctioneer. It's not clear in the game. I do not see, and the rules are not terribly easy for me to comprehend. Yeah, there it is. If nobody has bid, the auctioneer must take the card himself. Great. Okay. So, the auctioneer is in a tricky position here, because there's one particularly, from the position of somebody who's never played the game and has no idea what's going on, there's one card that looks valuable. This one. This is the only one that I would say, gee, I would pay something to have that. Why? Well, these two create victory points. This one you might end up not having at all if you don't get any Holtz, wood, whatever. Okay. This one you can produce. There's no question. But it's not clear that that's going to be worth anything at the end of the game. It's probably worth paying for. But it's not absolutely obvious. This one is probably worth something. Probably. But this one I cannot be sure will be a produced card. Will be valuable. So as the auctioneer, I probably don't want to offer this up in my current position, because I know that none of the players know what's going on, and that may or may not be valuable. What do I want to offer? Well, I probably don't want to offer what I think is most valuable. So I want to offer one of these two. And I'm going to do that. I will throw the port out, hoping that somebody bids on it. It costs $1 to create. So I'm going to start rolling and seeing if anybody wants it. Yellow is willing to go $1 on it, or $1. Green is willing to go $2. So I sell this to green for $2. And I feel pretty cool for being an auctioneer. So now I'm going to offer the next one up. Again, this may be a better card than the raw material, but I can't be certain of that. So I'll offer this up, and this looks kind of promising. Red's willing to bid on it. Are they willing to bid more? No, just one. Yellow is willing to go all the way to 3 on this, which outbids green. Blue's willing to take 3 of yellow's bucks. And again, obviously, I have no idea what I'm doing here. And that's one of the problems with these games. Some of them, and this one in particular, you walk into it and you say, oh. And that's the position I'm in. So now blue is going to offer this up and see what kind of offer I get. Red is unwilling to buy it. Yellow, and I'm gonna... Yellow really wants that, because that's part of his purchase price. So, yellow is willing... He's only got $1. He doesn't have enough to produce both. Oh, he's willing to bid 1 on it. Green does not really want this from his position, and he's unwilling to pay. Blue will trump this one in. He thinks that's a good card. I don't know. Obviously, we've already seen that yellow and green thought that the cards they got were better. Since blue took his option, red gets to be the auctioneer, I believe. I think it passes in that direction. Left-hand neighbor. And then the card is passed to the left? Yep. Okay. So we use right because I'm weird. Red gets to offer this up There's no real harm to him taking it. He's going to get the next thing anyway. So no matter what anybody bids, he's going to take this card. I see no penalty to doing so. What do we get? Well, we go to building in our laying of cards. Okay. Blue has nothing he can do. Red. He cannot buy this because he doesn't have any holds. Okay. If this were a later period, he could. Yellow, same situation. Can't buy it. Green, sees no real reason to build that port. That's a bonus card. I don't believe he has to. Let me make sure. Because something gets passed at the end of the era. Yeah, only technology cards, which I believe are these things. So, nobody wants to build anything. Counter moves position, and we draw 4 new cards. And what do we got? Oh, we got something that makes steins. And we got Tongrub. And Sagework. And Brunnen. Okay, so we got something that produces holds. Wow, that's, ooh, I forgot to give people money. Everybody gets a buck. That keeps everybody in the bidding. Look at all that money Blue has gotten, though. That's got to be worth something, hoarding that money. Okay. So now, we go to Red's first auction choice. And they've got to think about this. This is the best card, in his view. It produces something he needs, and something other people need, so he might be getting money, $1 off of these. That sounds promising. This is worth a lot of victory points, however. 3 victory points. I don't know what a Brunnen is. I'm assuming it's a well. Indeed it is. What are these other things? What's a Sagework? It'd be nice to know what things are, right? That's a sawmill. Makes sense that it makes. What's a Tongrub? A clay pit. But that doesn't produce anything. It's only worth victory points. And much, much worse deal than this is. And then finally we have this Steinbruch. Again, I don't know. A quarry. And I'm assuming that makes stone. Stone sounds like a useful commodity. We haven't seen anything that needs it yet. Alright. Well, let's see what happens. And I'm not going to be in this detail all game long, obviously. This is the card I want. What do I want to sell? I'd like to make some cash. This costs 3 to produce, and it makes something. This costs 3 to produce, and it makes something. Now, I could just take this. The danger is if I put something else out, I may get it for free because everybody's waiting on this better card. But that's what I really want. What am I willing to take? I'm going to put this sucker out because I think that's a kind of cool card, and I think I'll get some money off of it. I would rather get money off of it than not off of other things. Yellow's willing to go for it, but he needs that. He's not going to be able to get that. He needs that. Yellow's willing to bid $1 on it. He's not willing to go any higher. Green might be willing. Green is not. Blue's got tons of money. He's thinking, I can probably afford this. Nope. They're sticking red with it. And that means that yellow gets to auction the next thing. Now, yellow really wants that holds. And I think he wants it enough that he's just going to take it. Right? He's got enough money to produce that. He doesn't have enough to produce the other thing, but he may soon. He'll do that. That moves the auction to green, and green says, I too will just take something. I'm not even going to offer it for auction. Why waste the time on it? That puts it on blue. Blue might as well just take this. There's no harm, because this is the last card. Last card, you always take, I guess. Okay? Now we go to the building phase. Red's got two things. He's got something that he needs holds for, and he has this. He can build this, and he pays 3 to the bank, and gets this on a Steinbrook, which I have to find where that is. There we go. That's his now. I'm not sure if he should have this up here, or if he just holds it in front of him. I'm holding it in front because that's what the rules seem to suggest. Okay, he's not going to play his other card. He has the cash for it. Ooh, it's a technology. He has to play it soon, but he doesn't have any holds, so he can't yet. So now we go to yellow, and yellow can only build one thing, the Sedgework. Sedgework. And he wants that. That produces holds. We gotta find that. That would be this up here. There's no roads connecting that, but whatever. And that's his. And I'm assuming, you know, it looks like there's only one of each of these. Okay? He doesn't have cash and no ability to produce anything else. This guy, is there any reason to build this sucker? Oh, let's, yeah, nobody's got any victory points. I don't see a reason to build things at all. It looks to me, is there a limit to how many cards you can hold at change of territory? It doesn't appear to be. I'm simply not seeing any reason to build your cards. Why not hold them? Obviously, in the case of the Industry, wherever that is, you got to get this out. In the case of these things, you may want to get them out. But why play the cards that you got? I don't know. And let's go to blue. Again, I cannot imagine a reason to do it, so I'm going to hold on to my cards. Alright. So we pass this once more, and everybody gets a buck again. Alright. And now we hit another set of cards. We got another Industry. That takes a Stein. This produces Ziegel. Well, there's some stone on its own. There's a little squiggly line, canal or whatever, which would be a bonus for him. Okay, well, yellow's got the auction card. What does he want to do? Little squiggly thing is worth more to him than to most people. This is not really pleasing to his book, but it's worth a couple victory points. What is the one he has? See, now one reason you'd want to play things is so you can tell what the hell you're doing. That is definitely a problem. So what is Ziegel? Because that'll give me an idea of what I might want. That's brick. That sounds like pretty useful stuff. I need both Holtz and Stein to produce that. That's going to be tough to make. I already have the Holtz, but I don't have the Stein. And let's see. I just don't see that I'm going to be able... None of these look terribly useful to me, except maybe this. So I'm going to be looking to try to make money. And how am I going to make money? I'm going to offer this up and see if anybody will pay for it. That may be a mistake. So he'd have to have 2, 3, 4. Most he could bid is 1. And he will. He'll bid a buck on it. Blue. Blue has a halt. He has something he doesn't really care to play. And he has what else? He has a lot of money. Does he want it? Not terribly. And now this guy, he wants to get this out, and that's key to him. So he needs to spend 3 minimum to get his thing out. He could buy this for a buck. Uninterested. Green gets it for 1. And yellow gets to keep running. Okay. Well, that's not too impressive from yellow's point of view. What he doesn't want is to get stuck with something, especially this, which he could build. Well, alright. I'll put this out and see if anybody will buy it. This guy has nothing he's terribly interested in. He might be willing to buy that again for no more than a buck. He'll bid a buck on it. It looks like some victory points. Blue. Blue want to pay $2 for 2 victory points. He does not. Red. Red could build it for free, but he can't. He only has an extra buck because he's got to play this, right? And this takes a whole. Oh no, that only costs him 1. He could pay 2 for another one. That sounds promising. Yeah, he'll go 2 because what's kind of cool, that gives him both ends up here. They're not connected, but that's fine. And yellow will sell it to him for 2. Yellow's willing to keep going. See, here's the problem. Anybody who buys this pays 1. It's worthless. They could give red 1 for it. So he's going to trump in and grab this, which means that green gets this. And we're at the end of an era. Did anything exciting happen? I don't know. Oh, we're not at the end. We still have to finish up this turn. So we go to building and laying. Yellow's first again. Yellow wants to build this, I think. Why? What advantage is there to building? That's what I don't get. I totally do not see any advantage to building. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to look at the rules and see if there's any reason that anyone should build. I'll come back and show you what everybody did. Okay, indeed there is a reason. You only get the victory points for a factory if you buy it in the turn that it's created. And likewise with the technologies, you only even get the technology if... We knew that already. We knew you had to play the technology, but I forgot. You only get the victory points for a factory if you build it at the time. So the only one that we didn't see built was over here, the Zeagle, because green did not have enough money on hand to build that. He's keeping the raw material because that's a free Stein for him. He's keeping the port, why spend money on that? And he's keeping this. He did build this, and we have some victory points here that everybody's collected. Red's at 4, green's at 3, and blue and yellow are at 2 because they produced their locations. Alright, I'm going to wrap this one and move forward, but I think you have an idea of how the game actually plays, as much as I do at this point. What we don't have is an idea necessarily of what the right moves are, what things are valued at. But we might get a feel for that as we go as well.